Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to do a foundation review on the latest Maybelline foundation, which is the Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation. Now this one I believe came to New Zealand 2 to 3 weeks ago because it took me forever to find this foundation. Originally I was going to order it from ASOS.com, but the thing is they only have 8 shades, so I waited for it to come out in New Zealand stores, and I finally found this specific one from one of the Unichem pharmacies. And this, believe it or not, retails for almost 34 New Zealand dollars. It's pretty steep for a drugstore. It's very expensive, but I guess considering we're in New Zealand, this is relatively affordable. They came out with 16 shades, and I am in the shade 36 Warm Sun. I was actually considering True Caramel or Caramel, but the thing is they are a little bit on the red tone, peachier side of the spectrum, and this is the only shade that has a neutral olive undertone, so I opted for this one. This might be a little bit light for my skin tone. I always find it hard to find a perfect match on the Maybelline foundation ranges. From ASOS.com, they offer 8 shades and it's a lot cheaper. It's only $21.57 on conversion. It is available in farmers as well, but the thing is it varies, so the price of this ranges from 34 to 35 New Zealand dollars depending on where you purchase this from. 16 shades, I'm not really mad at it. Like, it kind of covers majority of the color range. For the claims, it says that this is 24-hour foundation, full coverage that lasts all day, oil free, and it does not clog pores. And the packaging is pretty nice. It comes with this white top and a pump, which is amazing. And I heard that this is a reformulation of their old Superstay foundation, which I honestly have not tried. I have work later on in the afternoon, so I'm going to basically wear this foundation throughout the day, and we'll see how it will last on my oily skin. For primer, I am going to use my e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer, which helps with minimizing my pores. At the moment, my skin is doing pretty good. I have a lot of scarring, but everything's flat, no textures or whatever. Except for this one right here. I think they're sort of active because I have my period at the moment. What I'm going to do is apply one pump. So that's what it looks like against my skin tone. Again, it's so white, but I find that when I swatched it at the store, it kind of oxidized a little bit into somewhat an orange undertone. So I think I'm good with that. So to start off, I am going to use my finger to spread it evenly. This is just a habit that I do with my foundations. I am going to use a brush. It doesn't have a smell to it, which is good because I don't like smelly foundation, to be honest. Like, the matte and poreless foundations has a distinct smell as opposed to this one. And looking at the color match, it's just a lot lighter than my skin. Coverage, with just a few swipes, it covered all the redness I have, even this pimple right here. It blended in so smoothly. My face looks flawless. So I think I'm going to just leave it with one pump because honestly one pump is what I need. Maybe I will have to do a little bit more on this side. I reckon that looks pretty good. The finish has got like a sheen to it, so I'd say it's more of a satin finish as opposed to matte, but it is actually full coverage. It does not cling to any dry patches that I have, and it's flawless. So we'll see what it looks like with a sponge. So this is the more problematic side of my face. So I'm using half of the pump that was left over of my hand, and I'm just gonna use this body blender sponge from Kmart. Using a sponge, it made no difference as opposed to using the brush. If anything, I feel like using a sponge works a lot better, and the texture looks a lot better, and it gives a soft matte finish as opposed to this one, which is quite strange. Like, it's the same foundation, so if you use a foundation brush, you will have this sort of like satin finish and full coverage. Whereas if you use a sponge, it kind of looks like it has a little bit of sheen to it, but it's matte at the same time. Looks flawless using a sponge, so I feel like it's just a personal preference. I think sponge is my favorite tool of application because it's quick, it's easy, and it pushes in the product as opposed to rubbing it. So I'm going to go with a few pumps on this side because it didn't quite cover my forehead, this area, and a little bit there. Now that it's all blended, it does not feel heavy or cakey on my skin. It feels very lightweight. It does not feel tacky at all. In fact, it kind of dried down to a powder finish, but leaving you with like a nice glow to your skin. Personally, I have really oily skin, so I might have to set this, just focusing it on the areas where I normally get really shiny, so around the T-zone area and just the high points on my cheeks. But the coverage, I really like it for one full pump. It covered my entire face. Color match though, it's terrible. We'll make do with this because I have a feeling that this will oxidize a little bit, just like the matte and poreless foundation that I have from Maybelline. So this is what my face looks like after applying the foundation. For me, this kind of coverage is medium, but you can definitely build it up to full coverage. You could still see a little bit of scarring, but I think I'm gonna go over there just a little bit to get the full impact of the foundation. So I built up the area where I needed coverage, and surprisingly enough, the foundation did not break up because a lot of times chances are in full coverage, once they dry down, they're pretty much there and you can't layer them properly, whereas this one you can pretty much build it up despite the fact that it kind of dried down already. I will quickly finish my makeup and I'll come back with you with the time. Please excuse my hair because I just washed it, so it's drying a little bit frizzy. The time right now is 11:02. I swatched the foundation a while ago and it kind of turned a little bit gray and it has sort of like a peachy undertone. It is my fault for getting a wrong shade. I should have gone probably like 3 shades down, but everything on top glided on very smoothly, especially the concealer, as you can see up close. And I did not bake or anything. I just lightly dusted the Coty Airspun loose powder on my skin, and so far so good. So we'll see how long it will last. I will probably do a check-in before I go to work, or if ever I forget, I'll probably see you at the end of the day. So I'll catch you then. Here is the foundation in natural lighting. The shade match is not that bad, like if you compare it to my skin. It's definitely a little bit lighter against my face, but it's not that terrible. So up close, it looks so flawless. Hi everyone, so I want to check in natural lighting to see how the foundation is holding up. Time check, it's 2:12 p.m. So looking at my face, I'm still relatively matte, though I could see a hint of shine on this area right here, on my chin area and my cheek area. I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'll check back with you guys when I finish work. Hi beautiful, the time right now is 7:04. So I have been wearing this foundation for about 8 hours and I am definitely shiny. I could see that the foundation rubbed off around my nose area and it starts to cake up around the chin area, but everywhere else is fine. I still have my coverage on the cheek area, which is my main problem. The shiniest part would have to be the usual spots where it's my forehead, this cheek area right here, and the chin area. So what I'm going to do is grab my sponge and blot. So blotting it definitely makes it a huge difference. And this is what my foundation looks like blotted. This one claims to be 24 hours, but looking at it now, I could see, and probably I can push this coverage for another 2 to 3 hours, and then it's done. It does not feel cakey or heavy. My skin still feels like skin. Overall, this foundation is great, especially if you're after full coverage, and if you have oily skin, it definitely held up throughout the day. The lightweight feeling is there, and the fact that it's from the drugstore, it's pretty good. The packaging is amazing. The only complaint that I have is, one, it's very expensive, especially if you live in New Zealand, and two, the color range is decent considering they came out with 16 shades, but I just hope that they have shades for the entire undertones of people. Like, you know how sometimes people has got neutral undertone, yellow, and pink undertone. So their foundation leans towards more on the neutral peachy beigey side, and the darker ones are more on the red orange side of the color spectrum. It kind of wore the same as the matte and poreless foundation. I might have to get the darker shade and mix them together to get my undertone quite right, because even if I use a darker powder foundation, it still comes off a little bit white. I would highly recommend this foundation. If you had a lot of dry patches on your face, I probably would not use this. I hope you guys enjoyed this foundation review. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and I will catch you on my next video. Bye!